Our next speaker is Cynthia, and Cynthia is from Neurosciences. And Cynthia's talk is entitled The Power of Speech, How Our Voices Tell the Story of Aging. Give her a hand.
Okay, so before we begin, I'm going to ask for your help. First, I want you to smile, and then I want you to look at your neighbor and say that we are getting old, but that's okay. Come on. We are getting old, but that's okay. And I want people to get used to saying that, just because whether you turn 5 or whether you're turning 55, we all celebrate a birthday, and age is inevitable no matter what stage you are in life. And as we age, a lot of things start changing, right? Sometimes you don't, run the same way you used to. Sometimes you don't remember the same way you used to. And a lot of times it's even evident in your speech. And as a neuroscientist, I'm very interested in what happens as we age. And so one of the first things I did in my research was look at speech. And why speech? Well, first, it's very relevant to everyone's daily lives. And it is also one of the first things that show up very early on before a lot of other symptoms manifest. And so one of the first things I noticed is that people with kind of foggy memory tend to refer less and less to time. So using words like yesterday or now, tomorrow, and the future is less in their vocabulary to their normal counterpart. The next thing I noticed is I like to call it a bag of words, but it's essentially how complex their sentences are. And it's kind of funny, but people who tend to forget things will use way The very eager cat chased the mouse across the neighborhood and was chasing the cat, and then finally the mouse came. So a lot more words, and I know I lost you guys there too, but a lot more words to kind of describe the same exact thing. The other thing I noticed is that their pronoun use increases. Now, this is something in Swahili, I like to call it, in my language, I like to call it the nini nani effect. And what this is basically when you don't remember a lot of things, we tend to replace the person with nani and then the thing with nini. So if you were to say Lucy went to the store to buy milk, I would say Nani went to the nini to buy nini. And we really mean that in a sense, a way that someone would understand. But as you can see, I've replaced a lot of those vital nouns with a pronoun because I genuinely just can't remember the name of that thing. And a lot of these patterns have actually been observed not just in English, but in Mandarin, in German, and even Italian. And why overall does this really matter? Well, to this day, there is currently no cure for dementia, which a lot of the times affects your memory. And the most preventative treatment is kind of early detection. And so what if, I wanted you guys to speak in the beginning because I want you to realize the power of speech. And so what if we were able to detect these subtle changes in your speech early on and intervene? It would likely have the possibility just to not just change lives, but maybe kind of save lives too throughout the process. So thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to ask you the questions that I asked before. You ready?
Yes.
So tell us about someone who has had an impact on your life.
Okay, so I would like to say my mom, but as of now, my little brother. I live with my younger 12-year-old brother, and I feel like he's giving me a new perspective on looking at life as a 12-year-old that I forget, speaking of age, as I get older. And so I think that's one person. He makes me see a new perspective of life every day.
So given it's somebody who thinks about language and words and word usage, are you learning anything from him?
Yes, he also likes to use the word nini and nani a lot, but I think it's just a lot of times he's also not fluent in English. And so his way of learning a lot of these words in English is kind of like thinking, okay, what is this word and how can I find a way to say it without just using those replacements? But yeah.
It's cool. What is your favorite way to recharge?
Slightly embarrassing to say this, but I love reality TV. So I watch a lot of reality TV whenever I'm stressed or I just want to relax and escape,
Tell us some of the shows. You got to tell us some of the shows.
I know. So I've been loving Real Housewives across all franchises. I can't even name one. And then there's this show called The Traitors, which is a really cool game. And it's about deception, but it's in real life. So you play a game where you try to find out who's a traitor on the show, but no one really knows unless you're a traitor.
Got it. I'll have to check that one out. If you could create a new campus tradition, what would you create?
I would create a ski beach day. So I think San Diego is very special in that an hour away, there's the mountains with snow, and then an hour away, there's the beach. And so I think it would be amazing if people could just go up and ski for the day, and then later in the afternoon, go to the beach and just relax.
Yeah, and you could definitely do that in one day.
I know, you can.
You like to ski?
I have only been a few times.
Right, me too.
It hasn't been a good experience, but I'm going to keep trying.
All right, well, that's good. All right, so we're kind of talking about this, but what's your favorite thing besides the beach about San Diego?
I really like the tacos. The tacos here are like 10 out of 10.
Which kind?
I know the carnitas tacos. I like carnitas, so those are my favorite ones. And obviously, chicken tacos are also awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you for an amazing talk, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Let's give her a hand.